will be victorious when you realize that worship is warfare.
Adversaries are necessary because without them, you never really discover your purpose.
We've accepted what somebody told us we were in our past. So our past is sabotaging our ability to hear instruction.
We are not much unlike a battery. The negative is the thing that's needed to produce the power.
I empowered you to overcome everything you've overcome up to this present moment. I fixed you for what's going to happen after this. You were in the mind of God long before you were ever born.
You are not alone in your battle. God has your back because worship is warfare. Put these 4 messages in your arsenal today on CD or DVD. Equip yourself by visiting our website or by calling 1-800-591-8480.
It's now easier than ever to stay connected with David G. Evans and the Bethany Baptist Church family. Follow the ministry and rejoice in all that God is doing by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. On Facebook, you'll be up to date on the latest happenings, and you can watch our Sunday services on Facebook Live at 8 and 11 a.m. Eastern.
Here comes the power. Hallelujah.
Words of wisdom and encouragement can be found on Twitter, and you'll get up to the minute sermon points as they happen in our weekly worship services. Follow us on Instagram and be blessed by the inspirational and special moments that are highlighted each week, and meet the people who are the heart of our ministry. And if it's video you want, subscribe to the Bethany Baptist Church channel on YouTube. See the celebrations, the special events, and the many, many people who are helping to transform lives one at a time. Stay connected with David G. Evans on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and become a member of our broadcast family today.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Hello. Hey, y'all.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. That's it, at David G. Evans, the number 1. Won't you please share and tag a few people, tweet them, call them, text them, whatever you have to do. Have them join what will be another dynamic conversation, as we are the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. You can talk to us toll-free, 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. That's 866-74-EVANS. Give us a call. We have great conversations, always from a kingdom point of view, always with a biblical perspective. That's what On Point is all about. Talking to you about those matters in culture, faith, politics, sports, major events, controversies happening around the nation, trying to keep you informed, but also enlightened as it relates to how many of these things work into the will of God and how they impact you, not just in your natural life, but in your spiritual life. Joining us once again is our world famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas A. Smith. Hey man, how you doing?
Hello. Hey, y'all.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
I understand at my old alma mater they had a homicide
Yes.
in the dorm last, I think Wednesday night, maybe. Still waiting to hear some more about that. I also heard about an incident up in Summit, New Jersey, where a fight between two individuals, high school senior and a 14-year-old boy. And the 14-year-old boy was losing the fight, which was probably going to do, but he was trying to defend himself. And when the police arrived, they pulled up the guy that was winning the fight, sat him on a couch, and immediately handcuffed and kneed in the back the young man that was losing the fight.
Yep.
I
was talking to somebody about that on Twitter. They were, well, what happened after the video? Did they arrest the white kid
after
I'm like,
the video? It doesn't matter now.
It doesn't matter. I mean, even the white kid was like, how come they didn't handcuff me?
He said that?
He went on record. They interviewed him and said, how come, I was wondering why they didn't handcuff me and why they just handcuffed him.
And he was, the boy that lost the fight got handcuffed.
And I was telling
on the ground, on the bottom when the police arrived.
Yeah. My premise was, to the guy was like, whether he was arrested after the fact is irrelevant. The question is, why did they pull him off,
sit him down on the couch,
check on him,
yeah,
and arrest the kid that was black? So him getting arrested later is irrelevant. The assumption of guilt and innocence. And
they saw the kid winning the fight.
Exactly. So I'm like, come on, don't give me that. I hate when people do that. Well, I need more context.
Context. What do you need to see?
It's plain as day. Don't use. But see, those are those people who don't want to see stuff. That's my problem. They don't want to see it, and they don't want to admit it.
You gonna believe your lying eyes, or you gonna believe what I'm telling you?
Yeah. And two videos happening in 20 years to show that the context was taken out. It was taken out of context.
Right.
Doesn't justify. The whole.
Throwing a blanket over every other video that you see from here on out.
Right.
Okay. So, the Dante Wright legal process came to an end yesterday, I believe, this part of it anyway. And the officer was sentenced to 2 years.
2 years.
Actually, it was 1 year and 6 months.
Yeah, so they're saying about that, yeah.
But time served means she's only going to serve 12 months for killing a young man.
And you got people who do much less.
Well, they put the lady in jail for 6 years for trying to register to vote, didn't they?
Exactly. Yep.
So, Putin has decided to invade Ukraine. I know what the talking heads are saying, but I'm trying to understand what the benefit of it is, other than he doesn't want another NATO country right next door. And he's willing to. And I don't believe that he has not fortified himself or secured himself against the sanctions, which are usually financial, before he made this move. I don't think he just willy-nilly made this move. Now, and I'm not sure he's that concerned about being frozen out of NATO.
No. He does this thing any other time.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems very strategic about things.
Yeah, and they're isolated.
Yeah.
And he does his own thing. But I think that there are a few things that he can't plan for. Now, he has a little money to burn to help him with some sanctions, but not if they hit him on multiple fronts in multiple ways. Yeah. I think messing with the oil might get his attention. But we just have to see.
Yeah. They're trying to still do the diplomatic route.
Yeah.
But,
I saw something, I think, late last night where they said he decided to go in. Maybe I'm being naive, but I don't understand how a leader decides to sacrifice thousands of his own people to satisfy some kind of it always shocks me.
Yeah. Well,
that you get elected to protect the country and protect its resources, and part of its resources are its people. But you're willing to sacrifice, let's say on the conservative side, 10,000 lives of young men and women for a ideology.
Yeah. Well, I just started reading Harry Potter movies. I finished the first book.
Okay.
And while you were talking, it brought
Sorcerer's Stone.
Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah, man.
I just finished. I'm starting Chamber of Secrets now.
Good, ain't they?
Yeah, good. Really good.
I told you, man.
When Dumbledore,
what took you so long?
I don't know. It just took me a while to get to it.
I've read them twice.
I know. I'll work through them again.
But, beautiful.
But when Dumbledore was talking about Voldemort, and I'm paraphrasing, of course,
Sure.
he said he cares about his followers as much as he cares about his enemies. Because Voldemort's ultimate goal is power. So discard his followers just like he'll discard his enemies.
Yeah, he plays them like playing cards.
And that describes that Machiavellian kind of leadership.
Oh, yeah.
Where if power is your ultimate goal, you have no concern for
casualties.
No.
They're necessary casualties.
Yeah.
That's what they call empire building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because everybody's disposable.
Yep.
And it's funny how people follow those individuals. You see them do it to everybody else.
Yeah.
But then you think they'll never do the same thing.
But look at how human nature is. Look at the times that you and I have observed that people have been loyal to folk that mistreated them.
Yeah.
Disloyal to people that treat them well. Almost discount the good treatment and are attracted to people that are exploitative.
Yep. Yeah. Because it feeds some issue.
But what issue is that?
Sometimes I wonder.
So you are being mistreated. Because I see this in a lot of relationships. Somebody that's helping a person, they discard that person. Someone that's not doing anything for them, they're honorable and aligned with that person. I don't understand that.
So, I can't speak as a blanket statement. But for some that I've noticed, if they had like a parent or a situation that kind of kept them at arm's length, or
that's what they're used to.
Yeah, that's what they're used to. So the thing is, if I can get this new person that keeps me at arm's length or treats me bad to love me, it kind of justifies all of how I felt about myself and the pain of what this person brought. It kind of makes up for it. It's a twisted way of, my father didn't love me, so I'm going to be around this person to make up for it. And if I can get him to love me, it makes up for. It's weird. It's hard to explain.
I get you. I think to add to that, I think some people who are rejection sensitive are actually addicted to that emotion.
Yes. It's
So I feel validated by the fact that you don't care about me, and that makes me feel more normal if my mother or my father or some other people didn't care about
Yeah.
me. So I gravitate to people that don't really care about me.
I hate it at the same time.
I hate it. It's
But-
twisted admiration.
Yeah. And
That's not productive.
yeah, I had somebody admit to me. She said it was easier to be around someone that will hurt you than it is to be around a good person, because if the good person happens to do one thing wrong or hurts you, the pain of that experience is greater than this person over here who you expect to be trifling.
They don't expect anything from that person.
So if they hurt you, it's like,
But the other side of that, when you're with someone that you have no expectation for, there's no expectation for you either.
right, exactly. And then the crazy part is, I'm sorry, we get this, but
Yeah.
but it makes sense though. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
The good person can do one thing wrong, because all good people, people make mistakes. They'll completely discard everything that person did for the one thing they did wrong.
You know why?
Okay.
Because if my past is really jacked up, I need you to do something wrong so I don't feel so bad about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the bad one can keep doing wrong, and you're fine with that.
Find a way to deal with it.
But the one good person does one thing wrong, they apologize, they fix it. It's like,
Because we have this I knew it wasn't going to work mentality.
yeah,
So I expect perfection from someone, but I don't expect you to
yeah,
expect it from me.
yeah. Deal with all my crap.
Yep.
But I can't.
Yep. Yep.
Sorry, yo. It's
Well, yeah. So Trump took documents that were not supposed to leave the White House home.
But what about them emails and
But you know what?
lock her up and
What I learned about him during the campaign, and what I said to several people during the campaign, is whatever he's really focused on is what he's usually guilty of.
yes, yep, that's true.
It always comes out. Whatever he's harping on,
Yeah,
you find out later that he was guilty of the same thing.
absolutely.
Because subconsciously or consciously, he defends his own behavior by accusing other people
Other
of
people.
it. Yeah.
Yep. And putting light on them.
Oh, yeah.
And that's my thing. His supporters, all those lock her up, her emails, we can't trust her.
I'm not hearing anything right now.
Quiet
I'm
about
not,
all
I'm not
this.
hearing anything right now.
Because he came out now and said, I'm not a file keeper. And, kind of brush it off, of course. This is the fake news media.
Yeah.
They found the stuff, whether they,
The government found the stuff in his house.
thank you. And let's
How did they know it was there?
I need to do some research on how. Oh, you know what? Somebody's writing a book or something, or an article. I guess they used to work for him and revealed it in the article or the book.
Okay.
So it's a money grab for the person.
Okay.
And then that's how they found out about it.
So, in the midst of inflation, corporations are making more money than ever. In the midst of the pandemic, billionaires have flourished. Millionaires have become billionaires during the pandemic, and now the corporations are making record profits under quote-unquote inflation.
Yes.
So that leads me to believe one thing we've always said: inflation is not inflation for everyone. Recession is not recession for everyone. And obviously, we're seeing some managed results here.
Absolutely. This whole I get it. There were some supply chain issues. Not denying that.
But why were there supply issues? Because
Exactly.
what that does is drive the prices of things up.
Exactly. And CEOs are making huge money, and their thing is we got to put the cost back on the consumer because we can't afford to take the hit. But if you're giving your CEO a
$1 billion.
$1 billion, a $20 million bonus, come on now, don't give me that whole.
Got to get the money from somewhere.
Look, during the pandemic, they had to start paying people higher wages. Before the pandemic, we can't afford to pay these people to stay open. They managed to pay them and stay open.
Of course they did.
I'm like, come on, don't.
It's the complaint to cover the reality of what they're going to do behind the scenes to make sure they don't lose any money.
Absolutely.
So now we've got corporations' profits during an inflationary period, but you're looking at the prices of things being risen because I believe it was a managed deficiency in delivery of goods.
Yeah.
Because we've watched we give away turkeys every year. We've watched the price of turkeys go through the roof.
Yes.
And there are no less turkeys.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And last time I checked, in the last 2 years, turkeys weren't catching COVID.
Yeah, right.
So what drove the price up? Other than we've decided, I think they're handling everything we need like the Arabs handled the oil.
Yeah.
They drive the price up when they want to drive it up. They bring it down when they want to bring it down.
Yep. Because magically, those turkeys, a week or two after Thanksgiving,
Don't they do it down
they
again?
plummeted down to just
All of a sudden, same turkeys
Yeah.
cost less.
they create the demand.
Yep.
People scared and go run and buy everything up.
Yep. Tell you that there's not enough. And then there's always enough.
Always enough. I mean, grocery prices like almost. You
Oh,
almost
it's
paying a
crazy.
darn
It's
like-
crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. So they got some bomb threats going on with the HBCUs. I have not heard any from my alma mater, but like we said at opening the program, there was a death from a homicide. Now, when I was chair of the board at the university, most times I can't think of a time when there was this kind of violence that it wasn't from someone who was not a student. It was from someone who was not a student in just about every case.
Yeah.
Because kids have parties at school,
Yeah.
and young men and young women meet people off campus and invite them to campus, and trouble ensues. So we've got two callers, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Give us a call. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Now, I wish we had some tape on the incident in Summit at the mall fight. I heard about the mall fight, but I didn't.
You got to watch it. It's a lot of cussing in there, so we couldn't play it. But
Okay, we couldn't play it.
yeah, some cussing in there. But you can watch. I'll send you the link to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Florida man was sentenced to 5 years for assaulting a police officer after January 6th. 5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're still coming down, and they're making Trump the court case he wanted thrown out. The judge said no.
Yeah.
You'll keep it going because you played a part in this somehow.
I think it's major that his accounting firm comes out and says you can't trust the last 10 years of his statements. That means fraud.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice way, flowery way of saying fraud.
Yeah, it is. It is. That New York AG, I can't remember her name, but she's still pressing.
Oh, yeah.
She ain't playing.
Oh, yeah. So, I understand there are some Omicron subvariants that are spreading. They're saying the deaths and the hospitalizations are going down, but over 3,000 people died yesterday.
It's still a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's just going down compared to before.
And I think the home testing is a managed way to make the numbers look like they're lower than they are.
Yeah. It's still.
Because now people are not going to the doctors, they're not going to the urgent cares, so it's not registering. And they're telling people if it's positive, stay home for for however many days.
Yeah. And my thing is they gotta learn it, y'all. COVID comes in waves.
That's right.
It has a surge.
Mhm.
It has a decline.
Mhm.
It's just the way it is. And I mean, Omicron, the surge wasn't as long as the other ones, but it's still there.
Mhm.
So it could, a couple months from now, it could be another surge.
Well, I think
Decline.
with these mask mandates going away all over the country, the Super Bowl, the number of basketball games I've seen, I think we are unfortunately setting ourselves up for another major surge, but it won't be Omicron. It's going to be a variant this time.
Yeah.
And we're going to be back at square one all over again.
We'll see. Eventually, I don't know when it's going to happen. This is going to have to decline. Like all viruses, plagues, they all decline
Yeah, they all
eventually.
plague.
But I think they're playing it too early and
Absolutely.
saying that just because Omicron wasn't as strong, let's kind of wait for a couple more variants to see if it's waning. I don't think you can do that with one.
Well, here's the problem. I think what
You know.
we've set ourselves up for. Omicron was extremely virulent. Just being a person's presence for 30 seconds, you catch it. The variant is going to have the ability to jump across vaccines, like this one did, like the Omicron did. But it probably will be some derivative of Omicron and Delta at the same time, which means extremely virulent, and extremely strong at the same time.
Yeah.
So this is the next thing that I believe is coming.
Okay.
You know, well, I hope not, but
Yeah.
the way we're behaving, the only thing left for Omicron to do is get together with Delta and come out with a new face.
Yeah. Well, we had people who had both at the same time, a few cases.
Okay.
Then they, what they call the flurona, people had the flu
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
You know.
So I just think we're being premature.
Yeah.
And I don't think you have to even have a gift for pattern recognition
Yeah.
to realize that every time you jam people back together and lower the restraints, we have another surge.
Mm-hmm.
Hospitals are overburdened again, the whole 9 yards. The whole cycle starts all over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, let's go to the phones. We've got Danny on line 1 from Florida. We've got Keisha from Elizabeth, New Jersey. And we've got Tom from Florida also. Let's go to Danny. Good morning, Danny. How you doing?
Good morning, Bishop, Pastor Nick,
Hey, man.
staff. How y'all doing today?
We're making out, man. How's things in Florida?
Bishop, it's so much. I just, before I called in, I said I just hit two topics, that was, really, really important, and that which everyone needs to know.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing is that you sort of touched it when you started the discussion today. You said that when someone is doing something wrong,
Mm-hmm.
they'll harp on it and try to put it on the other person,
Right.
and so that they would be more or less in the clear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the old people would say, throwing a rock and hiding your hand.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the situation here in Florida is that, remember that last year they talked about voter fraud,
Yes.
and that certain groups, they were trying to build up the numbers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is what happened, and they more or less trying to sweep it up under the rug. And I'm surprised that it did not hit the national media, and they, would go ahead and get into the story. One of the local TV stations, they did an investigation because in a retirement village, a retirement home that they have down here, they have people that come in from time to time to assist the people that are living there. So what happened was they had people that came in that were supposedly helping the seniors with their papers and voting and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So in the process, what they did, if they were a Democrat, they changed the paperwork to state that they were a Republican.
Oh, boy.
And Pastor Nick, if you will look it up, you'll see the story. But what happened was that someone was wise enough, and they looked at it, and they said, wait a minute, I'm a Democrat. Why are you putting me as a Republican?
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I started thinking about this situation and see how it works, because what happens when election time comes, if you're an absentee, you're in a senior citizen village or something like that,
Okay.
they might mail you a ballot.
Mm-hmm.
That ballot will have nothing but Republicans on it.
Really?
Interesting. I mean, not surprising. They did something in Texas. They did something in Texas too, where they took a bunch of people off the roll, and yeah, they're trying.
And then, as you said before,
more and more that
tells
tells me the level of desperation and the level of reality that's out there as it relates to Republicans in certain areas of the country feeling as though they're going to lose unless they do some illegal things to try to guarantee victory.
And then to put the icing on the cake is that the governor is going to trying to draw his map of districts in the state.
Okay.
In areas where you have majority, minority voters,
Mm-hmm.
he's attempting to split that.
What? Maybe explain something to me. So you split a district that's got minority voters in it. Those people and those votes don't go away, do they? They just have to vote in another
but
place.
What they tried to do is make a minority, a majority, a minority, and a minority, a majority.
Okay.
So now this spot has more, more
Okay.
votes and stuff. Yeah,
So as far as the electoral and all that is concerned in the state,
exactly.
they can
Exactly.
that's
representatives and all that
that's
stuff.
what they're trying to impact. Okay.
And they shut it down in North Carolina. They're still saying they can't redistrict. The problem is other places that's happening.
Yeah.
They gotta get to the rest of them.
It's such a revealing move by the Republican Party that they are fully aware of their reality, that they can't win a vote in legal ways, which is probably why they were so willing to say, here we go again, that the presidential election was fraudulent, because they know what they have to do in order to win an election now, and that is commit fraud in most places.
Yeah, because all the ones who are doing the whole voter fraud are all voted for Trump for the most part.
But I don't understand how the law is being applied, and I really am somewhat dismayed in our Justice Department, because they are supposed to be the lawyers for the people, which means they should be knee deep in this voting thing. They should be knee deep in the insurrection, because the judge is no longer a judge; he's the attorney for the people of the United States. So he should be, I think, very aggressively hip deep, neck deep in these issues, especially where voting and all is concerned. I think they have to be. I don't understand why they're hesitating so, and I'm not sure why the administration is not having the allowable talks with them to say, look, you guys, this is what your job is.
Yeah, and the public, like he's talked Booker and you talked about last week, publicly, presidents coming out saying, on a consistent basis, this isn't right. They're gerrymandering, and not staying quiet about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They'll call the other side out. The Republicans call Democrats out all the time.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Absolutely.
And the situation is, when they brought it to the attention of the Attorney General of the state of Florida, and they brought it to the attention of the governor, the response was, well, this is the reason why I want to have my own police force. I know, Bishop. He's pushing to have his own police force.
The governor is.
Yes, so that he will be able to monitor situations like this. And we have not heard anything about this since.
Well, I was somewhat confused when he fired the lady that was reporting the statistics for COVID correctly.
For COVID, right.
And got rid of her because he didn't want those statistics revealed. I couldn't believe it.
And there's one more subject I'll touch since you brought up the COVID situation, is that they're not reporting deaths anymore.
Why? I know why.
What they're doing is that they're saying that, okay, we only had 8,000 new cases this today.
Okay.
All right. So the normal is 10,000, so it's going down. Okay. Now we're only down to 6,000. Now let's go ahead and take the mask off. But they're not telling you the deaths. Now the interesting statistics on this is that they're not telling us who is being affected by the virus. And the situation is those who have not been vaccinated. They don't want us to know that.
Well, it's too late for that. I kind of assumed that it was, but most people are not critical thinkers, so they would think.
Exactly.
I think people are rationalizing incorrectly based on their COVID fatigue.
There they are. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
I know Utah's doing that. They're going to stop posting most of the data on positive rates.
Why?
And their claim is since, again, a mistake. Omicron was the first mutation that wasn't as strong as the original Delta.
Right.
So their whole thing is, well, now that it's like this, it's just going to be a regular respiratory virus like the regular flu. So let's stop counting it, because they want people to get back to.
I know I say this a lot, but do you think that COVID is aware of any of the rules that we're setting for it?
I know.
You think COVID says, they said this, we can't do this now?
Yeah.
All right, man, Danny, we got to go, man.
All right, Bishop.
Tell my sister I said hello, please.
All right, very good.
All right, now. Bye-bye. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. We're going to Keisha in Elizabeth, then we're going to Tom Terrific from Florida. Good morning, Keisha.
Good morning, Bishop. How are you?
Fine. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Pastor Nick.
Hi.
What's your comment? What's your comment today?
I wanted to tell you this. Last year during the Christmas time, something had told me to go to my friend's church.
Mm-hmm.
So I went, and it was the lady I used to go to school with. I haven't seen her maybe 9 or 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I went in the church, and she called my name. I'm like, "Who you?" She's like, "Keisha, it's time." I was like, "Oh my God!" I said it was such a blessing to see her because she went in and out, in and out, in and out of the hospital, and she thought she was gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
And she prayed about it. She said, "Look," she told the nurses and doctors, "I'm tired of keep running back and forth, back and forth." But anyway, when she gave that testimony because they had to take her right hand off.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw her, boy, she gave me the biggest hug. I haven't seen her in 9 years. I said, "Look at God. God wasn't ready for you yet."
Yeah.
Because she got like 5 kids.
Okay.
I was like, "God ain't ready for you yet," but it was so good to see her. I haven't seen her within, like I said, 8 or 9 years.
Well, that was good.
That was a blessing.
How you been doing?
I'm good. I'm doing better.
You doing better?
I'm doing better. Still watching Facebook Live on, Bethany Baptist Church.
I know it's working.
Huh?
I said I know that word is working for you.
Yes, it is, because you always break it down in the scripture. You always do. That's why when I go to church sometimes, I'm like, "Dad, I'm going to miss it." I'm like, "Oh, my goodness, I'm going to miss it." Because when you come on, Sundays, at, I think 8?
8, 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, my goodness, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it." Oh, I'll be so upset at myself. But at least I can, do Facebook during the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my praise report. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Well, praise the Lord. I'm so glad to hear from you.
So you take care. Have a blessed day.
Talk to you soon.
Pastor Nick.
All right.
Okay.
Be blessed now. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Tom, how you doing, man?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick?
Doing all right. Good to hear you, boy.
Hey, it's one advantage I see for the cold weather up north. That is that you got a lovely sweater on, and Pastor Nick got a nice hoodie.
I like wearing sweaters. Man.
That was subtle shade.
Yes, that's subtle shade. It's cold.
He's not as direct as Danny.
I know. You can't get me. I like wearing sweaters, so I'm cool. It's comfortable.
Yeah, we both like sweaters, so.
Yeah.
Hey, well, they both looking good. Bishop, going back to the thing with Russia.
Yeah.
And you're talking about, sacrificing people.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Putin was head of the KGB during the Reagan years.
Yeah.
And when Gorbachev gave all that up, Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic, Estonia, Bulgaria, Romania, they all became part of NATO.
Yeah.
And this is all about him being upset and wanting some of that back.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to do whatever it takes to get it.
Well, the report I saw last night is that they had reports that he had decided to go ahead in. But the Ukrainian people have decided it's not going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah.
I saw something similar to Israel in that the, grandmoms were handing out ammunition. Like they are ready. A true militia has raised up, and they're ready to start fighting.
And them old one with them guns out there, just
They showed some grandmoms with AK-47s the other night on the news.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
This is changing a little bit.
Yeah.
Danny said something about down here with the voting things.
Yeah.
The way it was discovered wasn't even at a nursing home. It was a Spanish person who did not speak English.
Okay.
And their child, or a person was in the 70s or 80s, their 40-year-old child. So why did they change from Democrat to Republican?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even speak the language, so they wouldn't know how to check the box. That's what started the investigation.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And people were going from door to door. And the biggest, you think, well, what's the big deal? the big deal is that the governor last week came out and said, hey, this is the first time in history, in 20 years, that there are more registered Republicans in Florida than Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Which appears to be maybe because you went out and changed, the.
So what are they going to do about it, Tom?
Right now, Attorney General is looking into it, but not really sure.
Looking into
it. They really aren't sure. And the thing with the redlining of districts is they'll split a minority neighborhood into four parts.
Mm-hmm.
And put each part into a majority Republican neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So when the vote comes out, especially for Congress, you don't get that congressman. So it's a lot of things going on. The other one is, I'll let you go, is in Texas,
where
they have the one ballot box per county. So a lot of counties in Texas, that's okay.
Crazy, man.
It was 2,000 or 3,000 people in a lot of counties. But if you go to Houston, Dallas, Austin, any of the big cities where minorities are there,
mm-hmm.
one ballot box for Houston.
What?
Yeah, or one drop-off box. I'm sorry.
One drop-off box.
Yeah, can you imagine Philadelphia with one drop-off box?
No, I can't. It's unimaginable.
Yeah, so that's
I can't imagine the people in Lindenwold with one box.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's their whole thing. We're not taking your right to vote away, just making it harder. So you still have the right to vote, but
where is the federal government? Where's the Attorney General in this? Where is the Attorney General in all of this? Why does it look like he's just standing back and watching it all go forward?
Yeah. Part of it is Congress too, though.
Well, I'm sure it is.
A big part of it is Congress. They're allowing this to go down.
I don't get it.
Yeah, because it's going to take a while to get to the Supreme Court.
But I think they know this.
They know. Yeah, it's going to take a while. They're doing this gerrymandering case from North Carolina's been going on for the past 5-6 years.
I want to know where the money is coming from that's going to Manchin and Sinema.
Oh yeah. Well, they say,
and I don't think it's all Democratic money.
No, they say Sinema. She's got Big Pharma behind her.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I can imagine it all because they really are playing that line,
and they're playing it. But like I said with Manchin, I think his voting rights thing, they can talk about filibuster all day long, all they want. He has nothing to lose if black folk can't vote in his state.
Mm-hmm.
It's 98% white in West Virginia.
Yep.
He has nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So he can stand by and say it's the filibuster because he has really nothing to lose in his state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he's satisfying whatever money is telling him we're not in favor of it.
Yep. Bishop, just a funny fact. In West Virginia, the HBCU that was there is no longer predominant. It's not HBCU.
What is it
now? Something
now?
like that. It's like 90-something% white now. It's still historically,
What's the name of the school?
College, but West Virginia State. I believe that's no longer predominantly black anymore. It's they had to have it back, during the day because you had to have the HBCU in southern states, but it's no longer predominantly.
I've ministered in West Virginia, and the trip into town was quite a retrospective on American history. Did I say that tactfully enough? So it was. Not only were we in a vast minority, but it felt like we were. There is a distinct difference. You can know your minority and not feel so much like it, but not only we were the minority and felt like we were. It was as though we came into town with two heads.
Just say it was scary. I used to go to see there twice a year, and it's scary.
Yeah, our host was wonderful. Mary, what was Mary's last name? Pastor Mary was wonderful, and she had a wonderful event. But you could tell we were, and one of my childhood friends lives in West Virginia, outside of Morgantown, I believe.
When I ride through there, I just keep going. I don't stop. Just keep on going around. I was like, I'm good. I'm okay.
West Virginia. I haven't been down there since I preached there. Anyway, Tom, everything else good?
Oh, everything's great. Weather's nice. I want to get back up to you guys, but I'm trying to wait for this COVID to totally.
Yes, sir. It's wise. It's very wise. It's very wise.
And hopefully, when you guys open up, I'll be there.
I hope so, Tom. We look forward to seeing you.
Alrighty.
All right, man. Talk to you soon now.
Take care.
Bye-bye. That was Tom from Florida. Robin from Delaware is on. We're getting ready to go to her. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. We want to invite all of you to join us tomorrow, 8 a.m., for our first Encounter Worship experience. Then engage live at 9:45 to 10:45. Our second Encounter experience at 11 a.m. And of course, the ever increasingly famous 10 Times Better series for women at 6 o'clock. 5:30 discussion. 6 o'clock is the teaching. 6:35 or so, 6:35 or so is the follow-up discussion. Always lively, always highly engaging. You don't want to miss it. I want to remind you that on the 26th of this month and the 28th of this month, we will have a COVID vaccine clinic here at the church, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on both those days. That's a Saturday and a Monday. Saturday and a Monday, 26th and the 28th of this month, we'll have a COVID clinic, Moderna and Pfizer vaccines. You can get your first shot, or if you've gotten your first one, you can get your second one. If you got the first and the second, you can get your booster here at the church. Of course, there's no charge. Is there registration, Pastor?
No.
No registration. Come, first come, first serve. So we want you to avail yourself of this opportunity. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. February 28th, that's a Saturday. February 26th, that's a Saturday. 28th, that's a Monday. I want to invite you to come on over. If you have a prayer request, we want you to send it to us. Send it to social@go2bethany.com. Send your prayer request to social@go2bethany.com. Got a great testimony last night from Sister Smith. Came back. Not only was the cancer discovered to be less serious, but she came back clear.
Yeah.
And we are just praising God for that.
Yep.
Been asking God for testimonies, and He's been providing them.
Yeah.
And we're truly happy. Let's go to Robin from Delaware. Hey, Robin, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop and Pastor Nick. How are y'all doing today?
She's being so pleasant, Pastor Nick. You hear that
She
in her
must want
voice?
something.
Got a little bounce in her voice.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
She
wants something.
We're fine. She wants something?
Yeah.
Okay, we're
No,
fine.
I don't want anything.
Go ahead.
And guess what? I don't really have any questions today. I just have a comment.
Okay.
First of all, Bishop, I want to thank you for starting the OnPointe platform.
Okay.
It really has opened my eyes to a lot of things that we don't hear on the news.
Good.
And I thank you for that.
Good.
The second thing is, I want to thank you for being a real spiritual father to me. I know you are to a lot of other, members. When you told me I was being hard-headed, on the other, it was the 10 times, the 10 times better.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, because just having my mother to tell me and not having a male in my life at all, it really stuck with me. And I thank you. Anytime you need to chastise me, feel free to do it.
Well, I certainly don't like to, but sometimes you get real focused. Sometimes you get real focused, and I have to bring you back,
Right. I know you're doing out of love.
Yes, ma'am.
And Pastor Nick, I give you permission too, but you've been pretty good. But I wanted to ask regarding, this gun violence, what can be done, because a good friend of mine, his son, 29. I knew him since he was like maybe 12. And I haven't been watching the news, but the Walmart here in Newcastle, he was sitting in his car, and a guy walked up to him asking for money. He told him he didn't have any. So the guy pulled out the gun, shot at him 10 times.
What?
Yes, and one bullet went through his skull, and the other ones just grazed him, and burnt his skin. So I just want to keep him in prayer. He's home. He's doing a lot better. But
Wow.
I said, God's got a purpose for him. But this gun violence, all because he didn't have no money. The guy turned himself in. He was 23, so he's getting a lot of charges, attempted murder. But it's just so many shootings
Wait a
here.
minute. He shot him, and he didn't have any money, and he shot him.
Yeah, he asked him for money, and he told him, he didn't have any money. I talked to his dad the other day. That's when I found out. And I'm like, I didn't hear about that. And this Walmart's about 5 minutes from me. But he's okay. He said he shot 10 times at the car.
He shot the kid for not having money.
It came through his eye, and the other ones just burnt him.
So what was he going to do? Shoot him if he had any money?
People are
right.
They're just snapping at something. I don't.
I shot you because you didn't have what I wanted. Okay.
Yep.
The rejection probably just triggered something in him. And
that's not rejection. It wasn't his in the first place.
Well, I mean, we know. Yeah. I'm using rejection in the way of just the person saying no.
They're gonna make regular folk get arms. You know that, right?
Well, a lot of them are already.
It's sad. But I'm gonna leave on a good note.
All right.
I posted Sid's screening.
Okay.
It's going to be at the Garden State Festival, March 26th. I put her website on there.
Okay.
So anybody wants to see the trailer or buy tickets. And the last but not least, I want to congratulate Sister Crystal's son on season 12, episode 13 on the show Blue Blood.
Yeah, did a good job.
He did. Oh, did you see it?
I saw it.
It was good. He was really good. He was really good.
I'd never seen the show, but I watched it because he was on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually watch Blue Blood, but he was really good. So just wanted to leave on a good note, and I love you guys.
Take it easy. We love you.
Blessed day. See, I didn't have no questions.
Stay strong.
Right.
Talk to you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. So, what do you think? Do you think there'll ever be a physical response to Russia invading Ukraine?
If they start a war, yes.
I think they're going to start one. So,
well,
I know, and I only know this because we were asked to pray. They have not advertised this, have not reported it too much, but some people connected to some of our fellowship churches have already been shipped out.
Okay.
In response, deployed in response, so they can be in proximity should something break. They'll go into combat to support Ukraine.
Yeah, troops are out there already.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, here's one of my things about this, right?
Okay.
And I get why we're helping Ukraine and all that good stuff like that. When this stuff happens in Africa,
nobody moves. Nobody moves. Nobody moves. But are they NATO? We have some NATO countries there.
Yeah. Some know. I don't know how many in Africa, but
we have some.
Yeah, but our thing is where our interests are. All of a sudden,
we don't have any interest in Africa.
Everything's fueled by money, of course.
Well, we don't have any interest in Africa
until they have some.
Yeah, and
certain countries.
They don't have any interest in Africa because there's not a whole lot of interest in us.
Of course.
It's just. I go back to the rapidity of the executive order to make hate crimes against Asians illegal. The rapidity of it. I am 70 years old, and I'm not sure that I've seen an executive order making mistreatment of African Americans in America illegal. I haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
But I've seen it for Asians.
Other people, yeah. And one of the problems that a lot of us have when there's other minorities in the country, we're quick to come to defend them. But when it comes to us,
nope.
They're not as quick to come.
Nope.
They don't want to identify with us then, but we'll take the support though. Not blanket, but it's.
I'm in a situation right now where, business situation where we are attempting to do a business deal with another community, immigrant community. And we've had to bring them up short because the immigrant community has adopted a superiority position mentally, respect-wise, articulating during the meetings, that we had to remind them. You know, you guys don't consider yourself part of us until you got a problem. And it was funny, we were talking about it last week, and I think it was last week, and then it happened in a meeting with us this week. I was like, oh, here it is.
Happens all the time. All of a sudden, we're minorities in this country, and we need some, but don't want to identify with the other minority, you know.
Well, you know, I'm watching the LGBTQ2 plus. I can't keep up with it.
LGBTQIA plus.
IA plus 2 plus 2 plus. I'm watching them advocate. I'm watching them get response about the violence, discrimination, the hate crimes, those types of things. And the government seems to be listening all over the place. We're having a problem simply being given the right to vote. I told Senator Booker when we had the interview, I find it disgusting that at this point in my life, people are still voting on my right to vote in this country. I find that offensive.
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree.
We've been on a journey, but we haven't traveled very far.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. And then even in the LGBTQ community, the black ones are feeling the discrimination because it's going towards the whites LGBTQ.
So within that
one, yes, you're seeing the racial disparity.
The divide.
And divide too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know people may not like when I say this, but it's going to be it's an honest statement. One of the most oppressed people in this country is a black woman that happens to be in the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
Because she has the race thing, the gender thing, for being a woman, and then the sexual part.
Yeah.
All three of those things.
All challenging.
Yeah. For a woman in that community.
Yeah.
And it's in the church has to be able to speak to that. We don't have to agree with everything.
No.
But be able to understand, you know.
But I think our sensitivity to our own plight in the nation and in the world should give us plenty of experiential sensitivity to when other people are being mistreated.
Yeah.
But I would perhaps, if we would cross the hurdle of mistreating ourselves, we would be a little more proactive or active or reactive to other people. We'll talk about it, but it's sometimes. But we talked about this the other day too. I don't have a problem with you being ashamed of part of your history, but I do have a problem with you trying to deny mine.
Yep.
I have relatives who were slaves. So just because you've decided to follow President Trump or be a Republican doesn't mean you get to erase my history.
Yep. Totally agree.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
You know how African American men can decide this stuff didn't happen. Well, you can't say that to me.
Yeah, you can't.
And millions of other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because you're uncomfortable with it doesn't mean that
doesn't erase
doesn't
my
erase
historic reality.
Again, it goes back to that fragility.
Okay.
You don't want to be uncomfortable, but you want everybody else to be uncomfortable.
No, we're supposed to act like it didn't happen, so you don't have to be uncomfortable.
So it's fine. No, it ain't. And you gonna hurt us so you can feel fine. That ain't. No, that's not
The
gonna
Ku
work.
Klux Klan was on my grandparents' front yard.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that stuff didn't happen.
Yeah. So they're like, y'all be uncomfortable, but as long as we're comfortable, it's okay. That's foolish to me. Speaking of, we got to go. Just maybe we can talk about it next week.
Okay.
How do you feel about Sha'Carri not being able to run and this Russian girl able to skate?
I
don't know if you studied,
I did. I did. I think from Sha'Carri's point of view, she has an inequity point. It does not erase the fact that she drugged, admitted it, got tested, bang.
Right.
It does bother me that the perspectives on the two young ladies are different.
Yes.
Sha'Carri's a bad girl, and if we eliminate this girl, it's going to have a lifelong impact on her.
Yes.
That's my issue.
Yeah.
So Sha'Carri's a criminal, but this girl's team is responsible. I have a problem with that.
Me too. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Don't forget, tomorrow, join us all day long, beginning at 8 a.m., 9:45, 11 a.m., and 6 p.m. in the evening. Join us all day. Binge and encounter tomorrow. Don't forget, our COVID vaccine clinic begins on the 26th and the 28th, 10 a.m. in the morning till 2 p.m. in the afternoon. If you need more information, you can simply
For the
clinic.
Oh, just you can call the church.
Yep.
If you need more information. The flyers are posted on the website.
On the website.
Yep.
Go to our website, go2bethany.com. Don't forget your prayer requests, and as always, subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube. Also subscribe to DGEMS, DGEMS, and OnPointe, the podcast platforms. I look forward to seeing you next time. For Reverend Nicholas Smith, I'm Bishop David G. Evans, and remember, this has been On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Remember now, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.